Growing up, I hated the feeling of being left behind. Watching my friends get their first jobs, watching them become independent, being able to buy their own things online. As teenagers, we all want to feel a sense of independence. That's something I craved. I remember the exact day in 2022 when I was waiting to turn 14 years old to get my first job. I handed in my resume on my birthday, confident in taking on the job of working at a petrol station. Last year, 16 years old, I made a decision that changed my life. I quit my job. After 2.5 years of working, I quit my job, and I'm going to tell you why. And why I made the best decision but the biggest risk ever. I understand that like working a job is crucial for developing in your teenage years, and I'm not saying that you should be quitting your job. I'm sharing my experiences working 2.5 years in a job I hated, in a job that destroyed my mental health, that gave me anxiety, and that made me cry every time I heard the deafening alarm on my phone, waking me up for a 5:30 shift in the morning, knowing that I had to ride to work in pitch black and preparing myself for endless hours of working for a job I hated. So why did I start the job? I started the job because I wanted to experience what like independence was like. I wanted to be like all my friends that were moving up in their life and becoming independent. I wanted to feel that I can do what everyone else is doing as well, and I wanted to also have my own money. I wanted to make my own money so I could buy my own things, and that's initially what like brought me into the job. Just working to get money. What the job also meant to me initially was that when I'm making my own source of money, I didn't have to rely on my parents to buy stuff. I didn't feel this guilt of having my parents buy me expensive things when I could just work for it and make my own money. But getting a job as a teenager comes with a cost. That cost could be multiple things. It could also include you having limited time to focus on important priorities in your life, like school, your hobbies, like sports, and your passions. Whether you like music or a content creator like myself, or maybe you just want to spend more time with your friends and have some more fun. The benefits of having a job are amazing. You do get money. It also gives you more opportunities but working, even especially like at a young age, it does eat your childhood away. And I kind of disassociated in the years that I was working because I was just the adrenaline of seeing the numbers rise in my bank account. That's what kept me hooked onto a job that I hated and knew that it was bad for my mental health. I literally hated going to work. I would cry. I'd have to literally prepare myself for an 8-hour shift. I'd be like, all right, Jade, you got this. Just get through it. It's 8 hours. And whenever I was at work, I always kept looking at the clock because I was just like, come on, when can I go home? Some of the struggles that I dealt with working, let's just take it back to when I started. So a couple months in when I started working, anxiety. My anxiety was increased tremendously because that's when I got early morning shifts, so 5 o'clock shifts. My parents were like, Jade, you have a job now, so you are independent. You have to do this by yourself. We are not responsible for you. Mind you, I was like 14, 15 years old. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't care. I'll do it. I don't care. I signed up for this. I'll do it. But then I realized, yeah, so they won't let me wake them up in the morning, so I'm gonna have to get on this bike and ride to work. And I didn't even have a driver's license because I was too young. That scared me because just this anxious feeling of all these men around you riding to work in the morning. As a girl, you just generally feel that. That's just how you have to feel in this world. Just scared of things. You'll understand, but just this constant fear, living in constant fear. That's how I felt. So even arriving at work on my bike in the dark, waiting for someone to open the door, like waiting for my supervisor to open the door, that just scared me because there was all these men just watching me like I was a piece of meat, also waiting to go into the store. And that just really increased my anxiety. And then I just had to prepare for the worst shift of my life with rude customers yelling at me, just sore back after every shift, oil all on me. I had to wash my hair after every shift. My face was breaking out. Another thing was limited time. Guys, I'm so sorry. I just realized when I was editing that I filmed the whole rest of the YouTube video in slow motion with no sound. I have to remake it right now, so that is disappointing. Don't mind the tape under my neck. I have a medical condition of a plunging ranula, which I'm waiting to get surgery on, so I'm just putting some pressure on it because it's been annoying me a lot lately. Referring back to the struggles that come with having a job, limited time was definitely an issue. I felt like I struggled, not really struggled, but I didn't have enough time to do the things that made me happy, like hang out with my friends, go to the gym, focus on things that positively served me in my life, like my passions, content creation, helping other people. I just didn't have enough time for that. You know, having a job and having a really busy schedule taught me how to manage my time really good, so I became really good at time management. This is a very important skill that teenagers and adults need to master in order to get through their life if they have a lot going on in their life. Having a job affected my mental health, and I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough time to focus on the things that actually made me happy and the things that I actually wanted to do and spend my time on. Regardless of if I was getting paid well at my job, I value my time more than the money that I was receiving. $19 a weekday. I worked 3 hours. I didn't even work that much. Like, I worked like 2 shifts a week, but it was like still the thought that I had to go to that shithole. That was the thought, like, because I did sprint coaching, I still do. But the thought that, why would I be getting 2 shifts a week, and why do I need to worry about this piece of crap job that doesn't even really give me much shifts? But it's just, the quality of working there was not good. It didn't really develop me as a person, really. And it wasn't good money. Like, I mean, it's more than the average, but it still wasn't helping me. It did come with a cost, and having a job does come with a cost. Here is the realization of when I realized that I needed to quit my job before it was too late and I needed to make the risk. I realized that my time was better spent investing in myself and in my future than working for a company and a business that didn't even give a fuck about my well-being or my other co-workers as well. It depends on your boss. I'm not saying all bosses are like this, but you are used as a tool to get them to where they need to go, alright? Not all bosses care about you. You are a tool for them, alright? You're helping them with their business. You are getting paid this fraction of what they are receiving. They're receiving the biggest profit ever, and you are just getting this tiny little fraction of what they're getting. And they still treat you like shit. You are only a tool for them. The thing that also made me realize that I need to get out of this job was that I was such a hard worker. I was loyal. I did everything for this business. So basically I worked there for like 2.5 years, but for the first year I was just constantly working and didn't really like awaken myself to what I was doing. I was just disassociated in my job, just working, seeing the adrenaline of the numbers rising in my bank account. That's all I was focused on. I was focused on the money. But at the start of last year, I was 16. I was like, my plan is to get out of this job, right? I plan on getting out of this job. But the thing was, I was kind of trapped in the job, and the job conflicted with my long-term goals because I was like, I really need to focus on my passions. I can't be working for yous anymore. Like, that's just what I was thinking at the start of last year. So I just carried on for a few months, just endured the pain of showing up to the shifts, working for someone else who didn't care about me. You know what it's like, working at McDonald's or something. It's the same thing. It's depressing. It eats you away. It diminishes your creativity. I get it. I understand. So yeah, I was working for a few months, and then November is when I called it quits. But it backfired. Not in a really bad way, but just not in the way I hoped for. I was like, alright, hey, to my boss, I was like, I need to quit. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for providing the opportunity to work for you. I really appreciate everything you've done. I just got to focus on my sprinting, on my passions, on my future, and I can't be working here anymore. Prior to that, I had said a message in a group chat that we're in. I was just exposing, like, not really exposing, but I was just like, yeah, you know what, how the boss treats you is not fair. Like, because my boss was punishing my co-workers for being sick and punishing them for not showing up to work even though they called in sick. I was like, that's not fair treatment. Like, you're a casual worker, you can call in sick without having to feel guilt. Anyways, I just said that. And then my boss snatched my co-worker's phone out of her hand and went through the group chat messages because she was like wondering, why are all my workers quitting? Why don't they want to work for me anymore? I mean, fair enough, you should be asking that question, but not in the way you approach the situation. You don't snatch someone's phone out of their hand and look through their private information. This is not how you handle a situation. You need to be more mature about this situation. Approach it in a different way. Like, she was immature, emotionally driven, not a good boss, not a good boss. Trying to always get information out of you, asking inappropriate questions during work, controlling and manipulating. She wouldn't let me like talk about like how much money I got paid in front of my other workers. It was just, she just wasn't that. Anyways, after she snatched the phone, she looked through the messages, and when I quit, I said, I can work for a month, all right, until I can quit. I'm happy to work for 4 more weeks. And she went through the messages wondering why we were quitting. Some of us were quitting. We just hated the job. We hated how she managed things. It just wasn't pleasant. She was like, I just read your group chat messages, Jade. All the best. And she stripped away all my shifts that I said I could work before resigning. That's just the type of person she was. I felt so disrespected, and to me being the better person, and with the help of my parents, we gave her a bouquet of flowers with a Kit Kat because she needs a break, right? And a 2-page document of how loyal of a worker I was and everything that is wrong about her as a boss. And we put it in a letter and just dropped it off at the work at BP. Just being the better person, you know, even though she stripped all my shifts away, just said all the best, not even a thank you to her most OG worker that has been there the longest. She deserves it. She deserves to be put on YouTube. I'm not joking. I can talk more about this, but I'm not gonna get into like details because I just don't want to do that. Quitting the job was the best for me, even though I was getting paid like relatively good. I still had a source of income though, because I do sprint coaching, right? That's my like business, that's my side hustle. If you're watching this, do not quit your job unless you have really thought on the decision, all right? Because it took me at least 10 months to think about this and plan and approach this the best possible way, even though it didn't end the way I wanted. Things happen, but you really need to think, is this the best decision for you? Is this, even though, like, is it a good or a bad risk? Like, there's always a risk to a decision you make. That's what I had to figure out, and this risk was the best risk I made, but I'm still working every day to make sure that this risk does not fail. Quitting my job allowed me to focus on the things that really served me in my life, right? Like my passions, content creation, helping other people, sprint coaching, having more time with my family and friends. That's quitting my job just allowed me to solely focus on what made me happy. My mental health got so much better. My anxiety decreased so much. I didn't have to focus on waking up early every morning to a shift that I hated. It's different when you're in a job that you actually like though. I understand. Keep working the jobs. If you like it, do not quit. It's just, I was in a situation that I was sort of trapped in and I couldn't really get out because of the boss. She was so controlling. Didn't really let her workers leave on her, like always guilt tripping. She does that still, and there's still workers trapped in there that want to get out, that talk to me that they're just trying to leave but they can't. They hate working there, and you can really just see it in someone's eyes that the job doesn't bring them joy. So basically what I'm doing now after I've quit my job, I am still creating content, still building my personal brand. I'm still doing sprint coaching, helping other people. I do have a year ahead of me that I'm planning out. My advice to you, if you're like planning on quitting a job, no matter the reason, whatever your reason is, you need to make sure you have a plan. What are your plans? What are you doing after you quit your job? Do you have a direction? Is there anything you want to focus on? Like after you quit your job, what is that enabling you to do? Are you just quitting because you're lazy, or are you quitting because you want to focus on building something better for yourself, whether that is building your own business, or maybe you want to focus on your sports career, or whatever it is? Make sure you have a plan. This decision of quitting my job definitely has had a very positive impact on my life at the moment, because I have so much leeway in my time and I'm able to be really flexible with my routine. Whether that is when people want coaching, I'm allowed to just go whenever I want, and I don't have to deal with toxic people anymore, which is such a good thing. Not interested in that. I hate it. The thing is, it's risky because you don't know the outcome. Right, you can just quit your job if you don't have a vision for yourself and you don't have a plan to execute it. You can quit your job and just stay stagnant in this spot you are in your life, and you might be through a really tough challenge of you don't know where to go after you quit your job. And this is really important. If your mindset's like that, you don't quit your job. If you don't know what you're gonna do after you quit your job, don't quit it. And especially as a teenager, you'd think it'd be normal for all of us to have a job, but if you don't have a better vision for yourself, then I do not recommend you quitting your job. I do have a vision. I have a vision of building something for myself, building a business where I can be my own boss. I don't have to listen to a boss that doesn't like me, that just uses me as a tool to get them to where they need to go. Simple. It is okay to take risks as long as it aligns with your goals. Risks are good. It promotes a challenge for you, and every challenge is an opportunity for new growth. Alright, it's just a stepping stone to get you to where you need to go. And sometimes in life, you need to take a few steps back in order to see new growth. New growth always happens when you just take a step back, whether that is quitting your job, and kind of losing something. When you lose something, you will always gain something back, but you just got to put in the effort to make sure you're getting something back. Likewise, you don't have to follow the traditional path. You carve your own. If you're like me and you do not like the life you're living, and you're sick of working, working is not bad. It's really important for you to develop as a person, but working for someone or a job that doesn't serve you, carve your own path. You really got to think outside of the box. It's simple. It's very simple. I mean, it's really difficult to understand because there's so much knowledge in the world, and it's not really condensed. It's not organized for you to understand what you should do with your future or what's going to be the best for you. I feel like I made the best decision for myself, because I know there's more to just working a job and slaving away for the rest of your life and wasting your teenage years. Even though I'm still going to school, I will still have more free time to make content, help other people. If you feel stuck, or if you're a teenager going through similar problems, let me know your story in the comments below, because I really want to understand what you guys are also going through. And if you're interested in how I'm building my dream life after quitting my job, subscribe to this channel and I'll be taking you through everything I'm doing. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're thinking about quitting your job, or you're going through some struggles with finding a job maybe, just make sure it makes you happy. And if you feel like your boss is treating you unfairly, leave and expose them. Just write a 2-page document like I did and give them flowers. No, but in all seriousness, if you're in a job that is not serving you mentally, physically, emotionally, all the above, leave. I mean, run. If your boss is treating you like a piece of shit, run. If they're controlling you, run. If they're asking you inappropriate questions, do not answer them. Do not tell your boss confidential information. You are not their friend. Thanks for watching.